we'll go ahead and get started. So again, thanks for being here this morning for our last and final session. That we'll be looking at the latest AASHTO and FHWA updates. I'm Chris Higgins. I'm the Academic Director of the Western Bridge Preservation. And we've got two speakers this morning. First is Nancy Huether. She's from NCPP, and she'll be covering the first two sessions, and we're just going to have them run from one to the next. And then followed by Becky Nix from Utah DOT. And with that, I'll turn it over to Nancy.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you for moderating this session. I'm going to give you a little bit of an update on what's going on with the TSP2 program and some of the working groups. There's a couple that we've heard from already during the meeting, but I'll try and just kind of hit some high points of the others. I am going to watch my time, and if it gets too long, Chris is going to stand up and hit me with something, or no. So anyway, it's good to be here. It's good to see all of your smiling faces bright and early in the morning. A little bit about the TSP2 program. These are our current our current director, Todd Shields. Darlene and I are all here. The TSP2, if you didn't know what it stands for, it is a Transportation System Preservation Technical Services Program. It's a technical services program through the Committee on Maintenance and AASHTO. And we are housed at Michigan State University. Our focus is to support preservation through education, research, and outreach. And we provide opportunities for collaboration, innovation, networking. This is one of the major areas of that. And we participate and collaborate with a number of different committees and organizations to try, it's just basically, it's how do we get out the word about preservation? How do we work together to make that happen in the most efficient way that we can without duplicating work, duplicating research and things like that. So we're working hard to coordinate and collaborate with all of these other groups also. We have 4 regional partnerships. We are in the West now. The partnerships include state and local agencies, academia, federal highway, industry, and consultants, and they are all part of our partnerships. So they're all partners in this work that we do. Sometimes it's easy to think of us as state DOTs as the partners, and it's more inclusive than that. We have monthly teleconference meetings. Almost all of our meetings, we have a technical presentation or discussion along with whatever business needs to take place. These meetings are open. If you want to sit in on and listen in, some of the technical presentations are very, very good. Most of them are very good. And so if you're interested in doing that, let me know. We can get you the information so that you can join the meeting. We actually had all 4 meetings last year. We have all 4 planned this year. Next year, it looks like we hopefully are going to have a national meeting, so that's pretty exciting. So the 2023 meetings, we are here in Albuquerque. The next one is in a scant 2.5 weeks in Atlanta, the Southeast, Northeast, in Wilmington, Delaware in August, and the Midwest in Deadwood, South Dakota. If you've never been there, it's an amazing place. I grew up very close to there, so little plug. So if you've never been to South Dakota, great time to go. And our national conference, we are planning. We are hopeful and becoming more hopeful that we are going to have this in September of 2024 in Salt Lake City. We're still in the process of finalizing some details, but it's looking like that's going to happen. So we're really excited about that. Great venue, great location, right, Becky? And I'm looking forward to planning a really good meeting, but it is going to take a lot of work. So if there's any of you that are interested in assisting with that, love to have you on. There's several committees. There's lots of work to do. We have a website, and we have a LinkedIn page. That is a QR code if you want to scan that if you're not already on our LinkedIn and following the Bridge Preservation Partnership. We'd love to have you do that. We're trying to be more and more active on that and posting meeting announcements and really anything of interest to the preservation, anything that's beneficial to bridge preservation. We also have, this is our website. It's very easy to find. You can look at, there's a link there, but if you just Google TSP2 or bridge preservation, you can find it very easily. There's a lot of great information on the website. We have Bridge Preservation News. Raj talked about that a little bit. We have a blog. There's a link to the blog on the website. Some great stuff. This last time they did an in-depth interview with a DOT person along with a local agency person in Michigan. And really good information. She does a great job with her blog. Bridge Preservation Pocket Guides. Again, Raj talked about that a little bit the other day. This is where we can find them. If you go right there on the website, that's the front page of the website, there's the pocket guides. These 4 are the newest, dealing with overlays, rigid concrete or rigid overlays. And then this is a little bit of just kind of a sample of what the pocket guide looks like. There's the contents, and there's photos and various things to help you, give you some guidance on different activities. They are in the process of doing a couple of more. I think the PPC one is the next one, and LMC overlays that they're working on. And so they're very, very helpful. If you go into the website where those are, you will also find the QR code where you can download them as an app, and you can have that with you all the time on your phone or whatever, wonderful technology you want to put it onto. One of the other things that we do where a lot of the good information, the good work comes out of our working groups. Again, like I said yesterday, I know we heard from ITD. The first day, I know Travis talked about the local agency, but these working groups are truly, they were developed for a reason. They were started for a reason. There was a need that the DOTs saw and for doing some in-depth work into some certain area, and they all have different goals and deliverables, but they are active. The ones that are listed here are actively meeting monthly or bi-monthly. And I did find out that bi-monthly actually can mean either twice a month or every other month, which is really odd, but I did learn that. And these there's a couple that just meet every other month. So nothing more than that. But they're great groups. If you're interested in any of the things that I'm talking about, let me know. If you're interested in hearing about it, being part of the working group, contributing, there's a need always for more people, particularly DOT, because it sometimes is hard. We're all busy, and so you have to be picky about what you do. But if you're really interested in one of these groups, it's a great place to help form what they do, help drive the groups. So the Coatings Working Group, we were just talking about a little while ago. Derek Castle is here. He is chairing this. It's just gotten revived. It had been actively meeting, and they had a number of items that came out of the original working group. The strategic direction, this is kind of what they're looking at now, maybe changing course a little bit and helping giving the DOTs an opportunity to say, this is really where we need help, or this is really what we would like to focus on. And so we have a few members of the group that are from DOTs. It is industry heavy right now, not in a bad way. The industry people that are there are very willing to help and work and be very, very active in letting us drive it. But if there's anyone that's really interested in coatings and you want to sit in on a group, they're going to meet every other month, and we're working on a time right now, and it would be a great place for you to be able to say, you know, we really need help with this. We need help figuring this out, or we need to find what research has been done in these areas, or how can we make our coatings work better? How can we do the right thing at the right time? And so that's what that's all about. These are just a couple of things that the group had been involved in the past. If you knew Jeff Pouliot, he had been chair. He is no longer at Florida DOT, but he got a lot of the work, helped drive the work. Bridge Preservation BMS, I know that Dave Johntonen was here. He co-chairs this group along with Kent Miller from Nebraska DOT. This is another one had been meeting very actively. The person that was doing it got a promotion, was no longer doing his same job. The group kind of fell apart. We got it going again. And again, a little bit of a different focus. So I know we had some really great talk the other day about an asset management and what what's out there, all the things that are happening. And this group really kind of is refocusing on doing a little bit more sharing within the group and having more discussions about what are the different DOTs doing, how can we tackle this problem or that problem, and how are you dealing with this and that, and how can we do things better. And so right now that's kind of where they're at, and they probably will get into doing something a little more concrete as they work through that a little bit. But if that is something that you're interested in, let me know. We'll get you the invites for that. Construction quality of bridge preservation. Fawad Jabbar from Nebraska DOT is chairing this right now. This group was basically put together with this focus in mind. It's all about making sure that our preservation projects get done well. They need to be, you know, it's making sure that the project is constructed well so that it serves what we need it to do, right? We found that there's a lot of good construction guidelines for new construction. Pretty well laid out. We got the specs, you got all of the stuff, but preservation work's a little different, right? It's, you know, every project's a little different, and how do the contractors or the designers make sure that they're doing things the way that they need to do them, and making sure that we get good projects that will last. Currently, there's a draft guide for construction quality of PPC overlays, and these are just some of the things that they are surface prep, the things that are important to making sure the construction is good. Surface prep, the qualifications, technical representation, equipment, deck patching, set time, and opening to traffic. What are the issues that we have found that can cause problems down the road? And so then within each of the topics, there's a description, issues, guide recommendations, and some sample spec language. So this one is in draft form. We're looking at an LMC overlay one to supplement. So this would be kind of a supplement to the pocket guides. So the pocket guides are going to give you very general information, just very kind of general guidelines. And this is a way to delve deeper into it. What are the problems that we've seen? And we've had some great conversations in these meetings. So again, if you're interested in listening, participating, we would love to have you on the calls and part of the group. That was not supposed to be there, so I apologize. The Bridge Deck Preservation National Working Group, Sarah Sondag, Pat Martins are co-chairing. Stephen Austin is also very active in this group, and this is just a brief work scope of, you know, basically what they're doing. Obviously, decks are a big deal. It's what we spend half or more of our time on, I think. Just making sure the decks are performing, because they get the brunt of all of the icing and the traffic. A couple of the deliverables, there's a bridge product database. They are actually looking at updating this. It was started quite a while ago. I don't know how many of you are familiar with it, but Sarah is actually meeting with all of the different partnerships at their meetings and reaching out to say, how many people are using it? Is it worth putting the time into updating it? But basically, it is a database. Whoops, go back. It's a database with products, and then the DOTs can go in and say, yes, I've used this product in this application, maybe just very generically, but you have now, if you want to go in and look at that, you can say, okay, this is who I can contact to find out how did this work? What application did they use it in? Did they have any issues? What caused the issues? So it's making that connection. They also developed a concrete bridge deck preservation resource guide. Very long words, but a very, again, a guide that is kind of an introduction to it. So people that are new to doing deck preservation, it gives them some general guidance. It is the description, benefits, best practices, usually in a one-page, just like this, but then additional resources. So, okay, now I need to go in and find out more. I know this part, but I want to find out more. So it's meant to just be very easy to use. And then currently ongoing, we have a sealer synthesis study. Task 1 is basically done. Task 2 and 3, they're in the process of working on, but the idea was to come up with ultimately a white paper on deck sealers, penetrating sealers, and crack sealers. So those two, crack sealers, penetrating sealers. Each of the partnerships helped fund this survey, or the synthesis study, and it's being completed by Michigan State University, and this is basically what the deliverables that they want out of this, and then we can maybe take it a little bit farther, depending on what the outcome is. So there is my information. And I did cover that pretty quickly, so that's good. But there's my information. Most of you know how to get a hold of me, and anyway, but if there is any questions about any of the stuff that we're doing, if there's an area that you see a really big need in, and you think that we should have a working group that should focus on some new area, so that we can do a better job. That's where these have all been born out of conversations. We have a need here, and we need to do something to help DOTs, other agencies, figure out how to deal with this better. So if you have any questions about that right now, I'm happy to answer them about any of the stuff that you saw.
The preceding was produced by the National Center for Pavement Preservation. More information can be found on the web at pavementpreservation.org. Additional support provided by Michigan State University.